Hi everyone, welcome back to the podcast. And today I'm really excited to talk about how we can retrain our nervous systems, which is our mind, our body, and be able to live the kind of life we always wish for, and not just keep aspiring to be, in that life, but actually take that power back in our hands and actually be able to create that life. Yeah. So, for many of us, the first thought, when we get up in the morning, just pause for a few seconds and tell me, what do you think of? For many of us, that first thought is not joy, not gratitude, not excitement. For many and most of us, it's something like, another day. I didn't get to sleep enough. Yeah, or I have too much to do. Oh my god, another day. Oh my god, it's a Monday. Nothing good is happening in my life. How am I going to pay this? How am I going to pay that? When will I find a job? When will I find that love of my life? Yeah. And if that's you, I want you to know that you are not broken. You are not lazy. You are simply trained to think in a certain way. You've practiced waking up in misery for so long that it has become automatic for you now. You've taught your mind to scan for what's wrong. Have you heard of people who look for a cloud in every silver lining? That's many of us in most of the situations, unfortunately, isn't it? Aren't we always scanning for threats? And yes, biology has a big role to play in that, but we can retrain our body, and that's what the podcast is all about. Yeah. So today we're going to talk about retraining, rewiring the brain, the body, and the nervous system so that happiness becomes your habit. Because just like misery is trained, happiness can be trained too. And I want you to all to understand that I'm not coming from this toxic positivity point of view where you have to be happy all the time. However, what I'm here to tell you is that you don't have to be miserable all the time. And that's what I'm here to focus on. Yeah. Let's get real. Most of us didn't grow up being taught how to be happy. Yeah. And when I say happy, I really mean joy, ingratitude, feeling, feeling light, feeling like we're taken care of, feeling like we are being held. Yeah. We were taught how to work hard, how to achieve, and how to survive. And many of us don't even really know the whatever that secret formula is to thrive. But yes, how we have to find ways to survive, yes, that's something that we were constantly pushed towards. And the brain itself has what's called a negativity bias. That means your brain is always scanning for danger, for problems, for what could go wrong. Why? Because for thousands of years, survival depended on noticing threats. But here's the catch. In today's world, your brain is still running that old survival software. It's still looking for lions and tigers. But instead, it finds bills, emails, deadlines, fights with loved ones. And it reacts the same way. So you see, a lion, and you're the meeting and you actually being in front of a lion and then you're reacting, that is supposed to last for a few minutes max. However, today when we are in this world of social media, we are constantly online. Then if the brain has equated emails and fights and all of that with say a tiger or a thread, that tiger or that threat was supposed to last for a few minutes only, and then after that you were supposed to go to a safe space, right? But here, you see, we are not able to go to a safe space because we are constantly in a threat mode, because emails keep coming, and even if that email stops, there is another issue that pops up, and then another, and then another, and the brain is constantly scanning for threats and is living in that survival mode because it's constantly feeling that it's in danger. Yeah. So if every morning you think, I have nothing good in my life, you're literally practicing misery. You're rehearsing it like a musician rehearses a song. Every time you play that track in your head, those neural pathways get stronger in your brain. I want you to pause and reflect here, okay? When do you catch yourself rehearsing misery? Is it when you wake up? Is it when you scroll through your social media and compare yourself to others? Is it when you look at your bank account? Just noticing this is very powerful. Because you cannot shift what you refuse to see. Yeah? So just take a few moments and see where you feel that in your body. Yeah. And here's the exciting part. Your brain is not fixed. You're not doomed to keep thinking this way forever. Science has shown us something extraordinary called neuroplasticity. Neuroplasticity means your brain can rewire itself. This is science, guys. New thoughts, new patterns, new habits, they literally create new neural pathways. Imagine walking through a forest, and if you keep walking the same path, it becomes well worn and automatic, isn't it? But if you start walking on a new trail every day, eventually that one becomes the dominant path, right? That's exactly what happens in your brain. And it's not just your brain, it's your body too. Your nervous system also can get trained. If you've been living in stress, fight or flight, your body learns that it learns that threat mode as your baseline. But you can retrain your nervous system to feel safety, to feel the calm, and to be open to joy. So think about this. Happiness is not an accident. It's not luck. It's not only for people who have it all. It's a skill. And like any skill, it gets stronger with practice. So how do you actually practice happiness? How do you make it your daily habit? Let's start with mornings, right? Instead of rehearsing misery, which by the way, most of us unconsciously, subconsciously do, don't we? Don't we think of all the things that are not going to work out in our favor? Don't we think of all the things that can go wrong in our lives? Aren't we fighting with many people in our heads every day, thinking what they said to us? We are doing that, folks. And you have to acknowledge it. The first step to healing, the first step to moving forward is to acknowledge the things you're already doing. Yeah? So in the morning, even before you touch your phone, ask yourself, what are 3 things I can be grateful for right now? And I know I have said this many times in many of my episodes, but this is powerful, folks. This is powerful. When you start practicing it, you'll see the difference. Just today, I got a feedback from one of my clients, and she said that gratitude has played such an important role in her life after the clearing she got done, after I think one kid she had taken, energy kit. And she said that, most of the people in her team were fired. But she was still there. She feels sad for them, right? But she's still there. She's still able to provide for her family. She's still able to live where she wants to live. She's still being taken care of. And it's that energy shift, it's that attitude of gratitude that she gives credit to. So we feel like, what is there? It's nothing. And we keep dwelling in our negativity, in our misery. But when you're choosing misery, folks, guess what? The universe is going to give you more misery. And I know that you don't want that. Yeah. So coming back to the morning ritual, it doesn't have to be big. Maybe it's just that I'm breathing and I'm grateful for that. I have a bed and I have another day to live. Okay. It could be the sunlight. It could be your windows. It could be your bed sheet. Whatever. Gratitude shifts your focus from what's missing to what's present. So you're not constantly looking for what do I don't have? What's missing in my life? I want this, I want this. When you want this and you want that, this means you don't have it. So you're in the lack of it. Another practice I love is what I call joy anchors. These are small things that bring you alive and pull you back into the present moment. Anything, folks, anything that you really connect with, music, movement, walk in the nature, lighting a candle, hugging your pet, these tiny moments are not meaningless. They are micro doses of happiness that train your nervous system to expect joy. Choose your joy anchor, create your joy anchors. There can be many in the day, and practice it. Practice it daily, every day, consciously. Make it a habit. When you have so many joy anchors in your day, then your day becomes joyful, isn't it? And here's a big one. Rehearse happiness. Literally imagine something good happening today. When we go for an interview, first thought is, nahi mila to? What if I don't get it? What if they reject me? You go for a audition and you like, why will they choose me? I'm a nobody. So those thoughts are so quote unquote natural, isn't it? So how about we flip the script and imagine something good happening today? How about we show that courage and we stick with it? When something happens, we'll see what happens, right? Even if you were not chosen, what are you going to do? You're going to go for another audition. You're going to go for another interview, isn't it? Your life is still move on. Like it'll still keep going, right? So why don't we choose the positive? And something, if it doesn't happen, then we'll continue to live our lives the way we were anyways going to live, even if we were thinking negative. Just give it a chance. What if it happens? What if you're chosen? What if you get the role? What if you get the job? Right? So at least spend a few seconds. At least commit to the good thought. Yeah? Visualize yourself smiling, receiving good news. Constantly we're thinking bad news is just everywhere. You switch on the TV, you switch on everything. Every place is flooded with bad news. Imagine good news. Feel proud of yourself. How about you write down all the things that you've done, not in a narcissistic way, but in a way where you're not berating yourself, where you're literally proud of yourself. How about reparenting yourself? And how about reparenting, that critical parent that's stuck in you? Most of us have it. Many of us have it, right? So your brain doesn't fully know the difference between what's real and what's vividly imagined. So when you rehearse happiness, your brain fires as if it's already happening. Isn't that beautiful, folks? So, example, if you've gone for a job interview and you are feeling scared and you're thinking they're going to reject you, instead you flip the script and you start thinking about receiving the offer letter. And what do? You go and you buy some flowers for yourself. You go and get a massage today. You go and bake a cake for yourself. How about even without getting the offer letter, you still go ahead and get the flowers, you still go ahead and get the massage, and you still go ahead and bake the cake, and you have it, and you love it, and you savor the taste. And folks, if you continue to do this, your brain doesn't know the difference. It'll very soon create your reality like that. Think about how athletes train. They don't just show up on game day and just hope for the best. They practice. They condition their muscles. Happiness works the same way. You don't wait for joy to appear. You practice it until it becomes second nature. Yeah. Now let's go deeper into your body, your nervous system, because sometimes it's not just the mind that resists happiness, it's also your body. If your body has been stuck in survival mode, happiness might actually feel unsafe. That's why success, love, or abundance can feel overwhelming. You're not used to it. But here's the good news, the nervous system can be retrained too. One simple practice is slow, deep breathing. When you breathe slowly, you signal safety to your body. Why? Because when the tiger is in front of you, what happens? You can you imagine the heartbeat? Heart will just skip, right? It'll just come out. You'll be so scared. So that indicates danger. But when you're slowly breathing, deep, slow breath, that means safety. Another is havening or self-soothing. Just check it out on YouTube. You'll find many videos. Gently rubbing your arms, your hands, or your face can calm the amygdala, the fear center of your brain. Okay? And something as simple as smiling, folks. Yes, even if it feels fake at first, send that signal to your brain that says, I am safe, I am okay, joy is allowed here. Each of these practices will tell your body you don't have to live in survival anymore. You can rest, you can expand, you can feel the joy. So you need to work on your body as well. Go for a massage. Relax your body. Yeah. And so here's what I want you all to take away today. Okay. Happiness is not something you stumble upon. It's something you choose, something you practice, something you build. Because remember, folks, you've been practicing misery for a very long time. And so if things are miserable in your lives, there is a reason for it. Misery is trained, and happiness can also be trained. Joy can also be trained. The difference is simply what you choose to rehearse every single day. So here's my challenge for all of you for the next 7 days. Before you touch your phone, before you let that world flood in, choose one happiness practice. It could be gratitude, joy anchors, visualization, breath work, deep breaths. Just one. Keep it simple. Every morning you have to practice. 7 days. And notice how your day feels. Notice how your energy shifts. Notice how opportunities start showing up differently when you've trained yourself to see joy instead of misery. And remember, you are not broken. You are not unlucky. You are simply in training. And today, you get to choose a new training, the daily habit of happiness. So you are very powerful, folks. Your body, your mind, you're connected to the superconscious. You are magical beings. So start acting like one. Yeah. So thank you for being here with me today. And may you wake up each morning not in misery, but in joy. Because joy is your natural state and you can train yourself back into it. Thank you, everyone. Signing off, Anisha Dutt from Zarya Healings.